Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. (6:03 p.m.) I was at AGUA Special Utility District, special meeting of the Board of Directors, January 22nd, 2024. Call to order. Roll call. Maribel Diaz, I'm present. Dr. Adriana Flores Villarreal, absent. Ms. Ana Maria Perez,
Present.
Mr. Ricardo Perez,
Here.
Amaro Tijerina,
Present.
Jose Luis Ochoa, absent. Roel de Hoyos, absent. Invocation is going to be given by Ms. Cynthia Villarreal.
Heavenly Father, as we gather today to conduct matters of business for AGUA, may you give us your guidance, wisdom, knowledge to make the best decisions for the ratepayers and employees. Lord, let this meeting be productive. Let your peace surround us today. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
1D, public comments.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, we do have three that have signed up for public comments. We have Adaisa Valle, Adela C. Martinez, and Mr. Rodolfo Treviño for public comments.
We can talk.
Yes,
go to the podium.
yes. Are you Miss
Yeah.
Adaisa Valle? To
Yeah,
the
that's
mic,
fine.
please.
Sharon, you want to go ahead and advise them of the rules?
Hello, my name is Adaisa Valle, and I recently closed on a loan where I don't have water. I need a water meter in order for the permit to be issued to be built. So I need this. It's not that I want it, I need it. So I'm just trying to do things better.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. For the record, Mr. Roel de Hoyos is present.
Madam President, we also have Ms. Adela C. Martinez for public, okay, for public comments. Sí.
Buenas tardes a todos. Mi nombre es Adela Castellanos Martínez. Vengo en representación de mi esposo, el señor Vicente Martínez. Vengo con la petición de pedir un servicio de agua. Nosotros nos movimos aquí al Valle de Texas por cuestiones de salud de mi esposo. Compramos una propiedad en la cual movimos una traila, pero no hemos podido vivir en ella. Entonces mi esposo es una persona especial deshabilitada que requiere de muchos cuidados y sobre todo el agua, que es vital. Y vengo a pedir a ustedes de la manera más atenta se sirvan poder ayudarme y comprender mi situación, que yo necesito una mira para poder traer a mi esposo a la casa, porque no es igual estar con alguien más.
Sí, claro.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Gracias. Madam President, next we have Mr. Rodolfo Treviño. Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Muy buenas tardes, mi nombre es Rodolfo Treño. Mi petición es que necesito el servicio de agua porque uno de mis hijos movió una casa para un lote de una colonia ya existente y pues ya tenemos más de 6 meses esperando el agua y pues no podemos estar en esta situación.
¿Cuál es su nombre?
Rodolfo Treño.
Ok.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias.
That is all that we have for public comments, Madam President.
Okay. Okay, Item number 2, minutes. I need the approval of minutes for the November 6, 2023 AGUA Board meeting.
So move.
Have a motion by Mr. Tijerina,
Second.
a second by Ms. Perez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 3, discussion and possible action on order setting a public hearing date to consider amendments to the capital improvement plan and imposition of amended water impact fee, approving from the content of the public notice for the public hearing and authorization of the publication of notice and providing for an effective date.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, we are proposing to have a public hearing and adoption on March 4th, 2024, which is the March regular scheduled board meeting. We would like to also publish on the newspaper as well, January 26th, so that we can be in compliance with the 30 days viewing, publishing in this effect for this amendment. In reference to the scheduling, Jaren, I don't know if there's anything else we might need to add.
Yeah, no, just as a brief background on this, Madam President, members of the board. This is essentially the same order that we had on last month's agenda to have this hearing this month. It was scheduled to be published, but there was a issue with the newspaper not getting it published at the date that we wanted it to be published, and therefore we're bringing it back here to get it published. So if it's approved tonight, that should be published on the 26th, which will provide enough time then for a March 4th meeting and date to comply with the statutes as to the time between notice being published and the time of the hearing.
So move.
I have a motion by Mr. Tijerina.
Second.
I have a second by Ms. Perez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Mr. Perez? Motion carries. Item number 4, discussion and possible action on the declaration of surplus items to be disposed of as described in section 5.08 of the AGUA side bylaws.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, we would like to add an additional surplus item, which is a 2016 Ford F-250 Super Crew. In order for it to go to auction, we will need to declare this truck surplus. This truck currently needs an engine replacement, so we would like for it to be part of the surplus item list, so that we can go ahead and auction these items off.
Do you have a date for that?
We still do not have a date. We're getting quotes, Mr. Perez, for this item. We're looking into the Texas state auctions, and as well locally with Galindo auctions as well. That will be like an in-person, but at their place. They usually do auctions for municipalities, irrigation districts, and government agencies as well. And we're also looking into gov deals. So once we get the quotes, we'll bring it to the board or move forward with the actual
You
auction.
said their place, not here?
This one, Galindo auction, usually they do it on their place. We can ask them if we can do it here, but they usually bundle different municipalities and irrigation districts, equipment all together in one place.
It's gonna be the cost of getting all the equipment over there.
The cost, we will need to take it over there, the district. Right now, on the prior auction that we had, Texas state auctions, the commission was 7.5%. Or 2,500, whichever is
The lesser of
larger. Yes, 2,500 will be like, for example, the minimum they'll charge,
Yeah.
and 7.5% the maximum, plus advertisement costs as well.
Okay, see if we can get all that information, how much it's gonna cost us.
Yes.
Would that be come back to the board for an item that will give us that information on the auction?
We can bring it back to the board. Yes.
Last time we did it, where that was at sale property?
They did it here, locally, here at the premises, through Texas auctions,
So do we have a lot of stuff?
Texas
that's
state
going-
auctions, I'm sorry.
Do we have a lot of stuff that's going to need a lot of transport to move it that way?
We have approximately 80, I'm sorry, let me get that. We have 83 items.
Are they
but-
like smaller
But
items
some of them
or
are,
some of?
some of them will be bundled together. Some are small items, like for example,
Computers.
monitors, computers. We have printers and office supplies. We have also equipment like motor control starters. We have pumps as well, small pumps. We have, as far as major items, we have a backhoe, trailer with a gooseneck, and we have a 16-foot utility trailer as well.
So we have to contract somebody in order to, if we decide we're going to Galindo's, we'd have to,
We'll have to take the equipment or
yeah, or
The
pay
surplus.
somebody to,
to take
can
it,
do it
to take it
ourselves.
over. Or we can talk to them to see if we can
yeah,
have it
so
here at the
that,
premises.
I'd like to know the cost and the.
Or we can go through Gov Deals and they'll just put it on their online and leave it here at the premises.
It'll be better.
I think
Yes.
so.
So we have 3 options, and whichever is,
Okay.
better for the district, we can go ahead. But I can definitely bring this item back to the district. But for now, we just wanted to declare surplus the truck, the 2016 F-250 Super Crew.
So move.
So I have a motion by Ms. Perez and a second by Mr. Perez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 5, discussion and possible action on approval of variance request from stage 3 of the drought contingency plan.
Madam President, I'd like to move this item into executive so we can discuss.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Perez and a second by Mr. Tijerina. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 6, discussion and possible action on award of bid to the lowest responsible bidder for the Tom Gill and Line Booster Project.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, as discussed on last board meeting through General Manager's report, we have come into an agreement with J&J Contractors to lower the cost from $500,000 to $399,900, and this is for the Tom Gill Booster Station. I know that I have brought that item on the General Manager's report to give an update, but we're ready to go ahead and go for construction. We reduce the cost of the actual control panel, mainly the control panel, so that lowered down the cost about $100,000 on that. So we're ready to construct. So on the previous item, the board gave us direction to move forward, subject to the negotiations, and bring it back to the board for an actual item for approval.
So move.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Tijerina and a second by Ms. Perez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 7, discussion and possible action on the approval of a contract with the most highly qualified provider of engineering services for the district engineer.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, item number 7, as recommended by the board, we have been on negotiations with SAMS Inc. in reference to the transition of the district engineer. We have the contract in place. I would like to take this item into executive for further review of the contract.
I make a motion to move item number 7 to executive session.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Tijerina Perez, Mr. Tijerina, and a second by Ms. Ana Maria Perez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 8, discussion and possible action on the resolution and affidavit authorizing the filing of an application with the Texas Water Development Board requesting financial assistance for the construction of the North Water Treatment Plant and authorizing AGUA Board President, AGUA General Manager, Bond Counsel, Financial Advisor, and attorneys to execute all necessary documents for the 2024 DWSRF.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, as part of the submittal for the application process, financial application process to the Water Development Board, we have 3 forms that must be executed before we submit the actual application. We have the application for filing an authorized representative designation. We have the application resolution, which is a certificate of secretary, and also we have the application of an affidavit. We have all documents attached within this item. We recommend approval for this.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Tijerina Perez, by Mr. Tijerina, and a second by Ms. Ana Maria Perez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Everybody else?
Yes.
Yes, motion carries. Item number 9, discussion and possible action authorizing the general manager to solicit requests for qualifications for financial advisor for the North Water Treatment Plant.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, as per meeting that we have with the Water Development Board, they are recommending for us to go for request for qualification following the procurement with DBE, the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise requirements, in order to get refunded through that same loan/grant that we might hopefully get here in the future.
So move.
Have a motion by Mr. Tijerina.
Can you, I didn't quite understand you, Robert.
Yes, as part of the recommendations from the Texas Water Development Board, we must go out for
bids?
request for qualifications, and this is for the financial advisor, and also for item number 10, which is the bond counsel, in order for us to get reimbursed for that loan that we're gonna get through the
I
water
thought we already
development.
have one in place.
We have one in place, but
For each
since
project?
it has been probably, I'm gonna say 3-4 years, Jaime?
Roughly 4 years.
4
For the
years,
North
the
Water
Water Development Board recommended for us to go out for
Again.
request for qualifications again, because some of the requirements have changed through the years.
And it's a new project.
A new project,
Yeah.
yes.
Second.
So again, I have a motion by Mr. Tijerina and a second by Mr. Perez. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Discussion and possible action authorizing the general manager to solicit requests for qualifications for the bond counsel for the North Water Treatment Plant.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, item number 10 basically mirrors item number 9, the recommendation from the Texas Water Development Board.
So move.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Tijerina, a second by Mr. Perez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 11, discussion and possible action authorizing the general manager to solicit requests for competitive bids for a 200 kW kilowatt generator for 3 Mile Line Booster Station.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, this is a 2024 budget capital outlay improvement project that we have / equipment. This is a generator that we need here for the 3 Mile Line booster station. We would like to get quotes, competitive bids, and the approximate cost that we have set for the generator, it's approximately $85,000.
How much?
$85,000.
Yes. That's correct.
So move.
Second.
Who's second? A motion by Mr. Tijerina, a second by Mr. Perez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 12, discussion and possible action to amend the interlocal agreement with Hidalgo County Municipal Utility District Number 1 regarding temporary sewage transportation and treatment services.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, we had one final meeting with Hidalgo County MUD number 1, and this is again in reference to the temporary sewage transportation and treatment services. So if we look at the contract which is attached to the item, page number 2, which are the terms of the agreement, basically section two, number 2, which is the continuation of existing obligations under prior agreement. So basically, this is one of the comments that MUD number 1 had, which is basically the agreement of the existing agreement that we have for the 69 connections, wastewater connections under the prior May 6, 2021, to be kept the same at a flat monthly fee of $12.50 per month. And the other change that it was drawn into the actual agreement was number 4, where it states a wastewater facility. If we go down to the second, third, fourth, the third sentence, which is notwithstanding the flat month fee pay for the existing 69 wastewater connections, AGUA Such shall pay MUD a monthly fee of $15 per additional connection, not to exceed 150 connections within 10 days of the receipt of such notice. So basically, those are the major items, Jaron, that I saw. I don't know if there's anything else that, as far as language, that might have changed between attorneys.
No, those are the main substantive changes in the agreement. They did want the ability, understandably, that if the connections reach capacity on their end, that they have, the unilateral authority to say, no more additional connections at this point until their capacity is able to handle the additional connections. But the initial drafts separated commercial and residential and had certain numbers and dollar amounts for those two classes. And the final, this final draft just has one number for all connections, not making a distinction between commercial and residential, and just one flat price of $15 per additional connection.
So explain that to me. If somebody comes in and wants a new connection, how much are we going to be charged?
We're gonna be charged $15 flat fee per month
For a new connection?
for a new connection on that area that MUD can service, which is the area, I'm gonna say between Expressway,
Wait,
Veterans, 492 and Minnesota. That's about the area. The area that we're looking into.
So what we have right now is 69 connections, correct?
Right now, we have 69 connections.
And we're paying $12.50 a month.
Yes, that is correct.
Any additional would be $15 added to that $12.50.
Yes, per month, as a flat fee.
Okay.
That is correct.
That's $1,250 or what?
$1,250
For the 69 connections.
for the current 69 connections that we have an agreement with MUD number 1. So basically, if we put the numbers, what the AGUA Sud is billing the customer, that is gonna be into effect right now as a base fee. We're looking at $13.66 plus $13.18 per 1,000 gallons. So basically, we're not gonna be making revenue on this.
What happens is there's a problem in the line, we pay for it, right?
Yeah, financially, sorry, I was just going to add to that, Robert. Financially speaking, it's just above break even. Really, the goal of it is to ensure that it does not, inhibit build out in that area if there's, because the district will still be able to get additional water services.
We're gonna charge a little bit more in case breakage and all that, I mean, manpower, blockage, I mean, who's gonna be paying that?
Well, this will only be into effect until we get the G1, the service area.
How long is that gonna
the
take?
contract.
3 years, 4 years?
That's
Pending
just a
litigation.
minute, pending litigation on that.
Out of the 150, how many connections do we still have, can we add on?
81, right? 81, we would have
No,
81.
69
We have
plus
69.
150. The
Up to
150,
150.
we haven't
haven't touched
touched
Yeah.
them, no.
Oh, we have,
We
69.
only have 69, which is the current
And we
contract.
have a max capacity of 150 or one.
So out of those 150, we would have 81?
No, that's additional 150. That's
Oh,
150
additional
plus the
150
plus the
plus the
69.
69, okay.
Yes.
So that $15 is a flat fee. How much are we charged for the service?
The base will be at 1366.
Okay, so whenever we connect to our
Plus 1318 per 1,000 gallons.
yeah. So whenever we connect, whenever we finish, it's gonna be a different price. We know that they know that, right? The customers are different.
No,
Depends on
the
They
customer
get
will
the
get charged the
13 yeah, they're gonna get
the same
yeah, 1366.
Palmview sanitary sewer rate.
But whenever we connect our system, how much is that gonna be?
It's gonna be, it'll be the same. It's the same, it's the same.
We're
It's
the
the
same
rate,
price as
is the rate that we have adopted. But now MUD is assisting us to treat the sewer so that we can, continue with
So there's
sanitary
no
sewer
backup.
services on that area.
So they respected our fee, our base fee,
That-
our base fee?
That's our base fee will be 1366 plus 1318 per every 1,000 gallons used for potable water.
We set our rate. It doesn't make a difference on what they're charging us. It's just we set our rate.
Yes.
And their fee is their fee.
Their fee is $15 flat. We're gonna break even mostly,
With a little bit
yes,
more.
for those connections. If there's
'Cause
more
when you
usage,
divided
then
this up, it's at like 18
we'll make
dollars, right?
revenue. We'll make revenue off of that, right, for electricity and other purposes.
Okay.
We're still breaking even.
Okay, so
So move.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Perez, a second by Mr. Perez. All in favor, say aye. Motion carries. Item number 13, discussion and possible action on the approval of a closeout documents with CSJ Group for Agua Suds Western Road Booster Station and Water Line Improvements, Mendiola Booster Station. Mr. Salinas?
Yes, Madam President, the board wanted for us to go ahead and give us direction to go ahead and try to complete this project as soon as possible, basically having the closeout. Of course, M2 Engineering has been coordinated with CSJ Group to bring this project into closure. There has been paperwork, I guess, documents necessary to close the project already submitted to our engineer for closure. I know that there's an invoice, Mr. Salinas, that is pending, on this as part of the closeout documents. And also, there's a credit that the contractor is giving back, which is $6,000, basically in reference to a conduit that did not meet the actual specifications make of the actual material. So instead of aluminum, they use galvanized steel for electrical conduit. So they're proposing $6,000 credit, and I believe all the closeout documents were submitted, Milo, to your office.
Yes, the only thing pending is, I spoke to, Northern Hunt, they're gonna provide as-bills, for the actual, the way the pumps are on there. And they're also gonna provide a letter that basically states that although it doesn't meet the specifications of the, aluminum conduit, that it still meets the industry standards, for galvanized steel. So they're gonna provide that letter. Once we get that, I think
Okay.
everything else already has been submitted. Other as-bills and affidavit of bills paid, and we did a little research, and the change in cost from aluminum to galvanized, they mentioned that it was during COVID when they installed it, so that's what was more readily available, and the difference in cost was like $3,000, and they offered a credit of $6,000. So I think it's been in use for over 2 years. So.
And what's the warranty on the difference? Because if aluminum takes longer for it to corrode than galvanized. Right now, galvanized is not really a long-lasting pipe. So in the future, there's going to be problems with that too.
Yeah, so that's really why we've been going back and forth, that it didn't meet the specification.
those plans, the specs for the aluminum was because the plans is stated for chlorine tanks, and we didn't use none of that. And plus, the galvanized is inside the house, so it's never gonna get wet.
Yeah, it's only. a
And then the
small
wire's 100% copper. So it's gonna last for a very long time. Now, I understand if the galvanized pipe is on the outside,
portion,
then
and
it's gonna get
not-
corroded.
It's
They're not gonna
very
be,
Yeah, but it goes back to the aluminum was because of the chlorine tanks. We didn't need the chlorine tanks after all.
now that $6,000 credit, what does that go to?
It would be, basically be deducted from the final payment.
There was
A balance?
Yes, Madam Secretary, there was a balance left on the project from 2 years ago, Jaime,
It was 69,878.
So that
or
would go
3
down
years
to
ago.
60.
So it would,
63.
So what would be due, 63,000?
63,878.
Yes, Madam Secretary, on the second, of the attachment, on the second page, there's the actual
Breakdown.
budget that was approved, so in the amount dues at the bottom, they're stating that the amount that is due basically per the contract that they had, it's 63,878. However, on the actual budget that was left was approximately 69.
In terms of the bond proceeds that we have left, we have around 80,000, so it's enough to cover that.
Okay,
Mhm.
that's good to hear.
So basically, that funding was left there from 3 years ago. We have not
Do we
basically
have any
used that
subs,
project
uh,
because of this expenditure that was pending as
do
part
we
of
have
the
any
contract.
subs pending, the payment subs, like electrician, people that worked on the job and they didn't get paid?
So, a while back, there was one sub that had mentioned that they had not gotten paid. But as of now, they provided an affidavit of bills paid, and that I know of, I don't think there's any.
Pending.
liens.
How can we check on it if they put a lien or anything like that?
We
Run a
haven't,
title?
we usually we would receive a letter of notice of lien for a certain project, like we have done in the past for
Yeah, we
others.
haven't.
But in this case, we have not. I know that we had coordinated with one of the subs, right, that had pending invoices that were not paid by the subs, but I haven't heard from them. I don't know if you have received any.
There was a big punch list. Did you go through it, Tola?
So we actually went through the punch list several times, and we went
Mhm.
through it again, last week when we met with them. There's a couple of items that they use, a different method, such as like the grounding. I think that was one of the issues that Northern had brought up. But, for the most part, they also provided some additional letters from like a structural engineer on a change that was done. They also provided a letter from the tank manufacturer that the tank was, designed, by a professional engineer, and that it was built, per time of specification. So we did ask them for several things.
Yeah.
And well, CSJ was the actual inspector, on the project, so,
And he didn't notice they would put in different materials or different items when he was doing the inspections.
what they mentioned to us was that at the time, there was just like a verbal agreement that it was very hard to get, like, for example, the aluminum conduit.
Did they bring it to the board for approval on the changes?
No.
I mean, I don't wanna have a project that's gonna, that's gonna break down in 2 years and, okay, we did it, you know.
But it's been in service for
two.
over 2 years right
Yeah,
now.
but what's guaranteed on this? Do
So
we have guaranteed on
they, like, every project that I know of in our experience that's gone through here, the typical is a 1-year warranty.
Uh-huh.
And so the 1-year warranty starts when the pumps start working and the control panel starts working. So that one already expired. They did provide a 1-year warranty on the rest of the work, the building, the driveway, the fence, everything else aside from the main components, which is the tank, the pumps, and the control panel. And that one started in March, so there's
How much would it cost to have like an independent go and do like a walkthrough and give us their certification based on what he see before we give him the money? And it will be coming out of their fee, out of the 63,000 because they did the changes. And so that we can have additional, you know, the wiring, electrical, I'm not an electrician, but I mean, so I don't know what the rest of the board thinks, but
Like, yeah, you have
To
a
look at the
third party, like
A
an
third party?
independent.
yeah.
If that's something that the board wants to do, we can look
Based on the changes he did, because he didn't do them based on spec.
Based on the contract.
And it's not your
Or
deal,
what
you're
if
just
we
gonna
need-
pass it on, hey. Who did the inspection? Did Eddie was there?
Yeah.
With you? He was walking
No,
around?
their contract included inspection.
Ah, okay. Who was the inspector on that? Who was the engineer, or the engineer was Milden and Hunt?
The engineer was Meldon Hunt on the Mendiola booster, but the project also included a water line.
Yes.
And that one was designed directly by
Meldon.
CSJ. The water line goes from there.
Yeah, western all the way to
To where?
Texas.
So Juarez Lincoln to the elevated storage.
Elevator stores, yeah. That easement, did it go on the property easement or on the road easement? They didn't buy easement, right? They just put it on the road away.
Yeah, it's in an easement inside the school, but
But
outside of the school, it's in the right of way.
On the right away. All the way 5 Mile Line and when he turns up.
Correct. I think if I remember correctly, they did get some easements along Western, Mile 5.
Yeah, because they
but
did a
then-
subdivision there.
Yeah, so that one is in an easement, but going north, it's in the right of way.
Okay, so what do we say?
Well, we have to
Action
take that,
item?
I think we'd have to take that to
Executive.
executive and
To
talk to
discuss.
Jared and see what.
Yeah, if you want to consult with the attorney about what's been proposed in the final invoice and everything, happy to take that into executive session, talk about it.
Okay, so I need a motion to take item number 13 into executive.
So move.
Have a motion by Ms. Perez,
Second.
a second by Mr. De Hoyos. All in favor, say aye.
Right.
Motion carries. Okay. Item number 14, General Manager's Report. A, November financials.
Yes, Madam President, we have Mr. Jaime Reina, Finance Director, to give us a summary of the November financials.
Yes, Board, these financial statements are prepared as of the end of November 30th, 2023. If you could please turn your attention to the statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in imposition. Here you'll see in the top left corner that November is 92% of the year. Our total operating revenues were at 95%, so 3% ahead of budget, and total operating expenses were at 94%, so 2% ahead as well. But overall, we're in line with our budget.
I don't see here, what was the last month? Yeah, I know this is November, but do we have last month's consumption?
Yeah.
For December, you don't have December numbers?
December's numbers?
Yeah, you know,
we're
more or less, if you can remember.
We're working on that right now. They're not finalized. I'm getting we're working on some journal entries to finalize those, so I don't have a final number on that. But we should have December financials ready for next board meeting. But the just the early numbers, December revenues did exceed budget, roughly at about 102 or like 103%, and revenue expenses also followed that trend. But we did hit a 1.2 coverage ratio for December, but it's not a final number. We're still working on some entries.
We went over a little bit budget on several costs of production because of the
Cost of production, that's the lab and chemicals. So of
Yeah.
course, when our consumption goes up, we use more chemicals, and also it's the city of Mission, the sewer treatment as well.
Yeah.
The agreement that we have.
then attorney fees, of course, with all the,
That's the professional and other services. So that's at a 1.58%.
what do we have on maintenance that went a little bit higher?
Maintenance, the repairs and maintenance, we had some big repairs in 2023, mainly with sewer. With the lift station, there was a big repair that was I don't remember who the vendor was.
It was I believe it was
It was
J&J.
JMJ. It was with the lift station.
Basically, it was a bracket
On the bottom.
that holds
Mhm.
the main pumps
Right.
that were replaced.
And so that
All
was,
of them.
right, and that was a big item that is not common, and that impacted the budget on that.
And the bank fees, what is that?
Yeah,
It's
why they
like-
go
It's
up?
like a,
The bank
wash or
merchant
not?
services, those are really the credit card processing fees
And we
that,
charge the customer and then.
and we charge the 5% credit
And it's
card
not
fee to
covering
the
it?
customer. It is, it's just that the 5% is a revenue and it's on top under miscellaneous
Okay.
fines and fees.
Okay,
So it's nading
it
out at
covers
the
it,
end, right.
okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks. 14B, fourth quarter investment report.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, again, we have Mr. Jaime Reina, Finance, to give us a summary of the fourth quarter investment report.
Yes, Board, this is the investment activity report as of the end of the fourth quarter, so December 31st, 2023. If you go to the second page towards the bottom, you'll see the period earnings for fourth quarter were $139,000 worth of interest. And year-to-date, our bank accounts generated $481,000 interest. Now, it's mixed, it's both restricted and unrestricted interest that is in there, but that's the overall total number.
Are they locked in it, or they, none of them so locked for 3
No,
months, or?
We don't have any monies that are locked behind any term or maturity. It's not under CDs. We just have, the majority of our money is really in an investment pool with Techstar, and that just works like a savings account.
How much we're
not a
getting
CD.
on that one, like a 5%?
That one's at an average of a 5.33%.
Mhm.
So when I get a list of CDs, I pretty much get them daily from our investment advisor. The CDs are at about a 4.8, 4.7, so it's a better deal to
The
keep
money
them
you
in
put
that.
in it where?
It's in the Techstar investment pools. We don't have any CDs right now.
Yeah, but you put in it, they giving it monthly, or when they give it?
We get a list of available CDs for purchase, pretty
But-
much
But
daily.
the interest, when do they? when-
Interest is monthly.
Monthly,
It's monthly
and where do
payment.
you put that money?
It stays within the
It
same
stays
account.
within, it
Yeah,
just goes and.
exactly. It's just compounding. Right.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
14C, district operations update.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, just as a district operations update, just to let the board know, and of course the public, that we're gonna be going into our second year of our rate order, which is the order number 2022-12-001. Basically, as part of the five-year rate order that was approved by the board, we're going into our second year, which basically it'll come effective in February for consumption in January.
How much additional money did you estimate we're gonna be making?
When it comes to the rate order on the water side, it's roughly anywhere from $800,000 to $1 million. It just
A year.
depends on the consumption a year.
It depends. If they use water, we don't make money.
Yeah, there's less consumption, there's less revenues.
We get base fee.
Just the base, right?
Well, we
Guaranteed.
did it, we need to give all the meters out.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
thank you. Item number 15, district engineers report. A, Nat Bank technical assistance agreement, sewer hookups.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, we have Mr. Milo Salinas with M2 Engineering, district engineers, giving us the report on those three items.
Good evening, Madam President and members of the board. On item 15A is two phases. Phase one, we've reviewed the final closeout documents, final payment applications, and they've been submitted to NatBank. So we probably by the next time we meet, that portion of the projects will be closed out. On phase two, which is the one that was bid out, we received an email on January 10th, 2024 from NatBank completing the review of the evaluation of the awarded contractor, and they've approved it. However, we did mention, I believe the board requested that the contractor provide a letter that they would not have any change orders. They did provide a letter, but it doesn't exactly say that there will not be any change orders. It says, we have reviewed the plans and specifications, and as requested, we do not foresee any change orders, based on the plans and specifications. Any change orders would only be for unforeseen circumstances, not on the plans. And I believe they provided that letter, and so it would be up to the board to see if they move forward with it. We haven't told them to. We're basically waiting on y'all's approval to be able to execute the contracts. NatBank will review the contracts as well, and then they'll approve them. But this is just something
Does
that.
that include the roads? Are they gonna be tearing up some roads? I mean,
Yes, sir.
streets?
Yes, sir. This includes some main lines to extend on South Green Road, south of business.
And they're gonna be repairing those streets?
Correct. Some are on the side of the road, so they'll be replacing the driveways from the edge of the asphalt up to the property line. But the ones that are on the road, they'll be replacing half the road, basically.
So I don't know, we're like,
That-
it's gonna be change orders, I guarantee you.
It's I mean, it's
We gotta do it.
every project.
It's different.
I mean, every project's different, and it's hard to see. None of us have
A crystal
X-ray
ball.
goggles, so
A crystal ball
so
to see
yeah.
the future.
Looking lines
So,
or
but
gas line.
but I think that we have the majority of the things on the plans, and if anything were to come up, it would just be something that's very unforeseen. But
Who's gonna
we
be
do have.
supervising them? Who's gonna be supervising them?
That's
You guys?
part of our contract that I know of.
Thank you.
So you'd still be on this contract with the NetBank?
I'm not sure.
That, once we discuss one of the items that we have,
An
executive, that was, to executive, we can definitely, mention that. But again, it'll be, up to the new district engineer, either if he would like to take over based on the actual, funding available through NatBank for that certain project.
So we wanna get it at a good price. Who knows?
And basically, the funding, Milo, if I'm not mistaken, everything it's funded 100% through NatBank,
Correct.
the construction
And,
management of
yeah,
that project.
NatBank did mention to us that what's available in the budget is what they have available.
So that's
There
all
will
they have.
not be any, yeah. And like I said, it's included
So the
on our
overcost in
contract.
case change orders, who's gonna pay for that in case they are? We will?
So there's approximately close to $20,000 available. So anything that would go over that, then the district would be responsible for that.
So
Of
there's
course, you can
20,000.
also,
Yeah.
as the project's moving along, if it's something that were to come up, you can also decrease scope of work to stay within the,
Connections.
correct.
I guess we need to ask, because I know that for the first phase, we were giving blanket prices for each connection, right? Some were easier than others,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
So how are
And-
we
and-
going to do it this time? Because they're still charging the same rate for something that might be a little easier when it can be used for something that might,
So there's the majority of them were considered medium connections that are over 150 feet. But if you compare the price that was on this bid compared to the one that was done a couple of years ago, it's like more than
More.
double. Yeah.
yeah. That's what's concerning for me.
But it's also good to remember that this project's already been bid out twice. The first time there was 2 bidders, the second time there was only 1 bidder. And NatBank does want to see that the funding being used,
Right.
because they have other projects,
That they wanna
and
get going.
they have their percentages and whatnot.
So we continue to have meetings with NatBank and discussions, so they're well aware of, like, the pricing, the money, everything that's,
Yes, they reviewed the like the evaluation and the letter of recommendation, and we mentioned to them that the board has already approved and awarded to Morewell. And on January 10th, they had no objection to that, and then they'll do the review of the actual contract agreement.
But we had to actually take out a part in order for it to cover.
No,
The barquito?
right now, there's enough funding for it to be covered.
The
No,
barquito.
Ms. Perez is referencing to that we deleted a certain portion of the project in order to make budget for the main,
That's what-
Yes, we bid it out as a base bid and an alternate because we're trying to stay within budget.
Thank
Those-
you.
Yeah, those connections, we didn't do all of them, but in the future, can they come and they can connect to that manhole or whatever? They're gonna leave something like that?
Yes, there was some empty lots, and we, on the plans, we put a stub out up to the property line.
Okay.
So whenever somebody builds, the service is already there, ready for them to connect.
But how many
Or Nad Bank
connections,
decides they're gonna give us some more money.
how
What was
many
that?
connections we didn't do? We took out?
I don't have that number with me right now.
What street was that?
This is on
Abram.
South Green Road.
Yeah, but,
Yeah,
South Green Road or Avon Road?
South Green Road, south of Business.
Cause it's covering Abram.
Abram already has a line. That's the one that
That's,
goes to the lift station that goes to
Oh,
Mud.
okay.
This is on the south of Business, and it's basically on both sides of the street. I think it's First Street and San Francisco, and Third Street.
They're asking on the El Barquito Road.
that was
Yeah,
removed.
El
but
Barquito
that's
Road.
how many connections were there is what Rick is wanting to know.
Oh, on that one,
Yeah, well, how many
I
connections
believe
were
there's
there?
like around 70, 69 or something.
And the water table there is real low, so that's,
It's actually, and that's also why the price is pretty high. They do have, dewatering.
I hope they do.
Yeah.
We don't want another problem.
No, we didn't see that project get built, but we did hear that the water table was high in that area, and we also did a geotech.
Thank you.
Thank you. 15B, Mandiola Water Storage Tank Project.
That's the one that we just talked about, so it's basically the
Okay,
same
all
update
right, I see.
and
Then C, Liberty Road Widening Water Line Relocation Project.
on that one, construction got going again, but it kind of slowed down through the holidays and the weather, and they've been hitting some hard material on this work. They're approximately 50% complete, so we're hoping they'll be finished the next couple of months. That's all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Item number 16, executive session as provided by the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Sections 551.071-55.1.091. The Board of Directors may convene in a closed executive session to deliberate, discuss, or consult regarding the matters listed below on proper motion and approval of any of the items set above. Under Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Section 551.071, consultation with attorney. A, cause number C-3353-20-I SMB Infrastructure versus AGUA Special Utility District in the District Court of Hidalgo County, Texas 398th Judicial District. B, cause number C-3703-23E, Jimmy Klausner and Sons Construction Company Incorporation versus AGUA Special Utility District in the District Court of Hidalgo County, Texas 275th Judicial District. C, cause number CL-23-5111, Rogelio F. Lopez versus AGUA Special Utility District in the County Court of Law, number 10 of Hidalgo County, Texas. D, Stage 3 Drought Contingency Plan. E, Mendiola Water Storage Tank Project. F, Service Capacity Limitations and Pending Applications. G, NADBAC Technical Assistance Agreement, Sewer Hookups. H, Potential Changes to the CCN. And we're going to go ahead and add item number 5, discussion and possible action on approval of variance requests from Stage 3 on the Drought Contingency Plan. Item number 7, discussion and possible action on approval of the contract with the most highly qualified provider of engineering services for the district engineer. And number 13, discussion and possible action on the approval of a closeout document with CSJ Group for Aguasut's Western Road Booster Station and waterline improvement of the Mendiola Booster Station. I need a motion to go into executive at 6:58.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Tijerina and a second by Ms. Ana Maria Perez. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.